walking forward. Any hope that was in my heart was fading fast. I was in a long line in an empty-looking warehouse. The line started off winding up and down, but where I was on a long stretch. My hands were bound. I was wearing some kind of dirty white hospital gown, as did everyone else. The room was barely lit. Many faces flashed in front of me as they looked around. Some looked familiar, friends of mine. Some were strangers. All of their eyes were filled with fear, sadness, and hopelessness. Tears started to fall from my eyes. I thought we were going to heaven. From what I saw ahead of me in line, this place knew no heaven. I don't know how or when, but as we moved forward in line, where the line was winding again, our eyes and mouths were sewn roughly shut, like demented dolls. Though my eyes were shut, I could still see what was happening, where I was going. It must have been an added curse to this misery. I could feel the blood from my eyelids drip down my cheeks, for my sorrow was beyond tears. My turn was coming up. A friend of mine next to me walked up with me. We came to a low hanging meat hook that could hold two. They needed to conserve space. I can't remember their face, but someone grabbed my hands and yanked the short chain upwards until one of the links in the chain slipped over the hook. They weren't so high up that my arms felt stretched, but there was no way I would be able to lift myself off of them. Where is heaven? I thought to myself as the person strung my friend up just like me. We stood shoulder to shoulder as we heard the next people in line walking up behind us, a new hook prepared. There was no sound besides the footsteps forwards and the chains lifted. No one fought. There was nowhere to go. Time passed and the room filled up. The lights were as dark as night. No one moved. We all stood silent, thinking about what horrible thing we must have done in life to deserve such a horrible punishment. I don't know how long we stood there, but at that point I didn't care. Then, somewhere behind us, we heard a man's voice call out, "None of you understand, do you?" Suddenly the hooks disappeared and our hands fell. Confused, we turned and looked at the man. As we did, the thread that had sewn our eyes and mouths closed vanished as well. The bloody needle marks remained. Then we saw him. He didn't look special or different from an average person. He only stood out there because he was wearing actual clothing. He looked clean and didn't have any scars or wounds on his face as we did. "You thought heaven was awaiting you, right?" Everyone was silent. "But you expected heaven to give you the same joy as receiving a gift on Christmas. You thought it would be a place where everything you have ever wanted awaits you." Still no one spoke. "So, you know why you're here?" We didn't even bother shaking our heads. "You don't understand what true happiness is. The happiness you know has been handed to you. But do you know how it feels after fighting for your life?" What does he mean? "This place is happiness you know. Now I'll give you the chance at the truth." And he was gone. Everything was gone. Thank you so much for watching and listening. This story was written and sent to me by Weaves and Rings based off a dream she had just the other night. You can follow her in the description below.